Welcome to your channel name. Are you sitting on a hidden treasure? Imagine turning a simple quarter into $1 million fortune overnight. Today, we're diving into the truth behind the so-called rare and valuable bicentennial Washington quarters. Are they really worth a fortune or just a myth? Stay tuned as we uncover which coins could make you rich and how to spot genuine treasures in your pocket change. Don't miss this. Your next coin might be worth thousands. Let's get started. Welcome to your channel name. Are you sitting on a hidden treasure? Imagine turning a simple quarter into $1 million fortune overnight. Today, we're diving into the truth behind the so-called rare and there is no such thing as a bicentennial Washington quarter from 1968 with a P mint mark. The bicentennial quarter was only minted in 1975 and 1976 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence. These quarters feature a dual date, 1776 to 1976, on the obverse and a colonial drummer design on the reverse, designed by Jack L. H.R. No bicentennial quarters exist from 1968, and any claim otherwise is inaccurate. If you have a 1968 P. Washington quarter, it is a standard issue quarter with the classic eagle reverse design by John Flanagan. The Philadelphia Mint did not put mint marks on quarters in 1968. So if your quarter has no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. If it has a D or S mint mark, it was produced in Denver or San Francisco, respectively. Value of a 1968 P. Washington quarter. The 1968 P. Washington quarter was minted in large quantities, approximately 220 million coins, making it a common coin. In circulated condition, it is worth only 25 cents, as it contains no silver. It is made of a copper-nickel clad composition. However, certain rare varieties and mint errors can increase its value. Valuable 1968 P quarter varieties and errors. While the 1968 P quarter is common, some error coins and high-grade examples can be valuable. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. Some 1968 P quarters show doubling in the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. Depending on the visibility, these coins can be worth $50 to $300. 2. Off-center strikes. A quarter struck significantly off-center, where part of the design is missing, can sell for $100 to $500, depending on how dramatic the error is. 3. Clipped planchet error. A clipped planchet occurs when a piece of the coin's metal blank is missing. These errors can be worth $50 to $150 based on size and clarity. 4. Struck on a wrong planchet. In rare cases, a 1968 P quarter was accidentally struck on a blank intended for another coin, such as a dime or nickel. These are rare and can command values between $500 and $1,500. 5. High-grade specimens, MS 67 or higher. A 1968 P quarter graded MS 67 or higher is rare and can be worth $200 to $1,000 plus in auctions. How to identify valuable 1968 P quarters. Look for doubling in the lettering and numbers. Check for errors like off-center strikes, missing parts, or unusual features. Examine surface condition. Coins with no scratches, nicks, or wear are worth more. Weigh the coin. A normal 1968 P quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Any deviation might indicate an error. Estimated value of 1968 P quarters. Circulated condition, $0.25 to $1. MS 65, mint state $5 to $15. MS 67 or higher, $200 to $1,000 plus. Rare errors can exceed $1,500, depending on type and demand. Debunking the $1 million myth. No 1968 P quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars. Viral claims that such coins can make you a billionaire are false. Only extremely rare U.S. coins, like the 1933 Double Eagle, 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, or 1913 Liberty Head Nickel, have reached $1 million prices. Authentication and grading. If you think your 1968 P quarter is valuable, have it authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These companies specialize in grading and verifying rare coin varieties. Conclusion. The 1968 P. Washington quarter is not a bicentennial coin, and will not make you a millionaire overnight. While rare error coins and high-grade specimens hold value, exaggerated claims of extraordinary prices are misleading. Always verify authenticity through professional grading services before making any assumptions about a coin's worth. There is no such thing as a bicentennial Washington quarter from 1989 with a P mint mark. The only official bicentennial quarters were minted in 1975 and 1976 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence. These quarters have a dual date, 1776 to 1976, on the obverse and a colonial drummer design on the reverse, designed by Jack L. H.R. If you have a 1989 P Washington quarter, it is a standard issue coin, not a bicentennial release. The 1989 P Washington quarter. The 1989 P quarter is part of the standard Washington quarter series. It features the classic eagle reverse, designed by John Flanagan, and the portrait of George Washington on the obverse. The Philadelphia Mint, P mint mark, struck over 512 million of these quarters, making them common in circulation. Value of a 1989 P Washington quarter. Since the 1989 P quarter is made of copper nickel clad and lacks silver content, it is generally worth face value, 25 cents, in circulated condition. However, some rare error coins and high-grade examples can be worth significantly more. Rare and valuable 1989 P quarter varieties. Although most 1989 P quarters are not valuable, a few error coins and mint state specimens can command higher prices. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. Some 1989 P quarters exhibit doubling in inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. These rare coins can be worth $50 to $500, depending on severity. 2. Off-center strikes. A quarter struck off-center, where part of the design is missing, can fetch $100 to $500, depending on how much of the design is missing. 3. Clipped planchet error. A clipped planchet, where part of the coin is cut off due to a minting error, can be worth $50 to $150 based on size and visibility. 4. Struck on a wrong planchet. In rare cases, a 1989 P quarter may have been struck on a planchet meant for another coin, like a dime or nickel. These errors are highly sought after and can be worth $500 to $1,500 or more. 5. High-grade specimens, MS 67 or higher. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin. A 1989 P quarter graded MS 67 or higher is scarce and can command prices between $200 and $1,000 plus at auctions. How to identify valuable 1989 P quarters? Check for doubling in inscriptions and details. Look for misalignment, off-center strikes, or missing sections. Examine surface quality. The fewer scratches and nicks, the more valuable. Weigh the coin. A normal 1989 P quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Deviations could signal a rare error. Estimated value of 1989 P quarters. Circulated condition, $0.25 to $1. MS 65, mint state $5 to $15. MS 67 or higher, $200 to $1,000 plus. Rare errors can exceed $1,500, depending on type and rarity. Debunking the million-dollar myth. No 1989 P quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars. Claims that such coins can make you a billionaire overnight are false. Only extremely rare U.S. coins, like the 1794 flowing hair dollar, 1933 double eagle, or 1913 Liberty head nickel, have reached million-dollar prices. Authentication and grading. If you think you have a valuable 1989 P quarter, consider getting it authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, to confirm its value. Conclusion. The 1989 P Washington quarter is not a bicentennial coin and will not make you a millionaire overnight. While certain error coins and high-grade specimens are worth more than face value, claims of extreme prices are misleading. If you want to profit from coin collecting, focus on rare errors, key date coins, and high-grade specimens authenticated by professionals. There is no such thing as a bicentennial Washington quarter from 1965 with a P mint mark. The bicentennial quarter was only minted in 1975 and 1976 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence. These special quarters feature a dual date, 1776 to 1976, on the obverse and a colonial drummer design on the reverse by Jack L. H.R. If you have a 1965 quarter, it is a standard Washington quarter and not part of the bicentennial series. The 1965 Washington quarter. What you need to know. The 1965 Washington quarter was part of a significant change in U.S. coinage. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. Due to the rising cost of silver, the U.S. Mint removed silver from quarters in 1965, switching to a copper-nickel clad composition. This makes the 1965 quarter the first non-silver quarter issued. Value of a 1965 quarter. Most 1965 quarters are only worth face value, 25 cents, because they were produced in large numbers. Over 1.8 billion were minted. However, some rare varieties and errors make certain 1965 quarters valuable to collectors. Rare and valuable 1965 quarter errors. Although most 1965 quarters are not valuable, some error coins and high-grade specimens can be worth significant money. 1. 1965 silver quarter, extremely rare. A few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets instead of the new copper-nickel planchets. These are very rare and can sell for $5,000 to $15,000 or more. How to check. Weigh your 1965 quarter. Silver quarters weigh 6.25 grams, while standard clad quarters weigh 5.67 grams. If yours is heavier, get it authenticated. 2. 1965 double die obverse, DDO. Some 1965 quarters show doubling in Liberty and In God We Trust. These can be worth $100 to $500, depending on the severity. 3. 1965 off-center strikes. If a quarter was struck off-center, part of the design is missing. It can be worth $50 to $300 plus. 4. 1965 clipped planchet error. If part of the coin appears to be cut off due to a minting error, it may be worth $50 to $150, depending on the size of the clip. 5. 1965 struck on a wrong planchet. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins. These errors can sell for $1,000 to $5,000 plus. 6. High-grade 1965 quarters, MS 67 or higher. Because most 1965 quarters circulated heavily, finding one in pristine condition, MS 67 or MS 68, is rare. A top-grade 1965 quarter can be worth $1,000 plus at auction. How to identify a valuable 1965 quarter? Weigh it. If it's 6.25 grams, it may be a rare silver quarter. Look for doubling. Check Liberty and In God We Trust for a double image. Check for errors. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and wrong planchet errors can be valuable. Examine the condition. Higher grades are worth more. Estimated value of a 1965 quarter. Circulated condition, $0.25 to $1. MS 65, mint state $5 to $20. MS 67 or higher, $200 to $1,000 plus. Rare errors, $100 to $15,000 plus, depending on type. Debunking the $1 million myth. Number 1965 Washington quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars. Claims that such coins can make you a billionaire overnight are false. Only ultra-rare coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, 1913 Liberty Head Nickel, and 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar have sold for millions. Authentication and grading. If you believe you have a rare 1965 quarter, have it authenticated by PCGS or NGC, two leading grading services. They can confirm its authenticity and value. Conclusion. The 1965 Washington quarter is not a bicentennial coin and will not make you a billionaire. While rare silver quarters, error coins, and high-grade specimens can be valuable, most 1965 quarters are only worth face value. If you want to profit from coin collecting, focus on rare errors, silver coins, and professionally graded high-condition specimens. There is no such thing as a bicentennial Washington quarter from 1966 with a P mint mark. The only official bicentennial quarters were minted in 1975 and 1976 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence. These quarters feature the dual date, 1776 to 1976, on the obverse and a colonial drummer design on the reverse, designed by Jack L. H.R. If you have a 1966 quarter, it is simply part of the standard Washington quarter series and not a bicentennial issue. The 1966 Washington quarter, important facts. The 1966 Washington quarter was minted during a period of major changes in U.S. coinage. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. However, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition in 1965. The 1966 quarter is the second year of this new clad series. Does a 1966 quarter have any value? Most 1966 quarters are only worth face value, 25 cents, because they were produced in massive quantities. Over 821 million were minted. However, there are some rare error varieties and high-grade examples that can be worth much more to collectors. Rare and valuable 1966 quarter errors. Although most 1966 quarters are not valuable, a few error coins and high-grade specimens can be worth significant money. 1. 1966 quarter struck on a silver planchet. A few 1966 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from previous years. These rare coins can sell for $3,000 to $10,000 plus. How to check? Weigh the coin. Silver quarters weigh 6.25 grams, while standard clad quarters weigh 5.67 grams. If your quarter is heavier, it might be silver. 2. 1966 double die obverse, DDO, error. Some 1966 quarters show doubling on the inscriptions, particularly Liberty and In God We Trust. These rare errors can be worth $100 to $1,000, depending on severity. 3. 1966 off-center strikes. If a quarter was struck off-center, or part of the design is missing, it can be worth $50 to $500. 4. 1966 clipped planchet error. A clipped planchet error, where part of the coin's edge is missing, can be worth $50 to $150, depending on how much is missing. 5. 1966 quarter struck on a wrong planchet. Some 1966 quarters were accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another coin, such as a dime or nickel. These errors can be worth $500 to $5,000, depending on rarity. 6. High-grade 1966 quarters, MS 67 or higher. Because most 1966 quarters were heavily circulated, finding a mint state, MS 67 plus, coin is rare. A high-grade 1966 quarter can sell for $500 to $3,000 plus at auction. How to identify a valuable 1966 quarter? Weigh the coin. If it weighs 6.25 grams, it may be a rare silver quarter. Look for doubling. Check the inscriptions for a double image. Check for errors. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and wrong planchet errors are valuable. Examine the surface. The fewer scratches and marks, the more valuable it is. Estimated value of a 1966 quarter. Circulated condition, $0.25 to $1. MS 65, mint state $5 to $20. MS 67 or higher, $500 to $3,000 plus. Rare errors, $100 to $10,000 plus, depending on type. Debunking the $1 million myth. Number 1966 Washington quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars. Claims that such coins can make you a billionaire overnight are false. Only extremely rare coins, such as the 1933 Double Eagle, 1913 Liberty Head Nickel, and 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, have sold for millions. Authentication and grading. If you think you have a valuable 1966 quarter, get it authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, to confirm its rarity and condition. Conclusion. The 1966 Washington quarter is not a bicentennial coin and will not make you a billionaire. However, silver planchet errors, rare mint errors, and high-grade specimens can be worth thousands of dollars. If you are serious about coin collecting, focus on finding error coins, silver quarters, and high-grade examples